Earlier, I produced a video called 7 Days of NoFap, uh, Benefits and Timeline, right? And I also wanted to share something important that I've dealt with today, and that is how to deal with your urges to relapse, right? How not to relapse, your guide, your all-in-one guide that you need. So earlier today, I had urges and I dealt with them very responsibly, and I did exactly what I needed to do, and I want to share with you how to do a similar thing. So step one is to identify what triggers you to have urges to relapse, right? For me, that is showering, right? It's warm, I'm naked, it's privacy. I usually have a roommate, so that's like a place where I'm alone and have all of the necessary whatevers. Okay, that triggers me to that. Okay, that makes me want to masturbate. Okay, and it can be different for different people, right? Your trigger might be being stressed after a long day of work, right? It might be before you go to bed. It might be waking up in the middle of the night. It might be sitting down on a specific chair. It might be scrolling through Instagram. That's a huge one. If whenever you scroll through Instagram, you start seeing, or TikTok or Facebook or Twitter, you start seeing, naked girls trying to promote their OnlyFans, that could lead to you relapsing, right? You don't want to do that. So you need to cut out those distractions and you need to cut out, I mean, you obviously can't cut out showering or sleeping. So this is where part two comes along, right? Figuring out how to deal with your urges. Step one, figuring out when you get them so you know when to be the most alert. Number two, how to deal with them. If it's something like Instagram, delete the app, right? Only let yourself look at it when you are in a public place, maybe. Maybe you're only allowed to look at it once a day, once a week, and it's at noon and it's during your lunch break. I don't know. You have to find a responsible way. Maybe you put a blocker on your computer so you can't access certain websites. There are ways of dealing with this that help create a roadblock between you and your urges. Okay? Second, for the more physical things, you can, for me, it's cold. It's temperature. So I got urges earlier today in the shower. I already talked about that. And I flipped the shower handle. I made it as cold as possible. And, I started seizing up because it's freezing. And I did one loop, right? And by the time I did 360 degrees, my urges were gone. Okay? It There are different ways to deal with it for different people. Cold is a great way for me, right? If I'm having an urge, I'll open my windows and I'll turn on my fan and I'll lift the blinds. Putting yourself in a public setting is an amazing way because that physically forces you not to do anything, right? If you leave your house, leave your apartment, and you just start walking around, maybe walk with your dog if you own one, um, that will help get rid of your urges really quickly. Another option is maybe doing push ups, right? If you're sitting at your desk and maybe going outside isn't an option, maybe taking a cold shower isn't an option at the moment, maybe 20 push ups, right? Maybe physically distract yourself. Do planks until your boner is gone, right? That might work. I don't know. It's different for different people. For me, which praying is also a one. If you're religious, it works better. But if you're not, like if you have a raging boner and you have urges to masturbate, and then you just go, "Oh God, thank you so much for today," your boner will be gone. Seriously, like what more can I say? That's a really good way to get rid of it. Maybe call your mom. I mean, she misses you. You should call her anyway. I'm just joking now, but the number one way, and I kind of did this today, and this is one of the main reasons I'm making these videos, is to write down your reasoning for doing no fap. Why are you on this journey? Write them down. Grab yourself a notepad, grab yourself a pen and write, right? Maybe you want less social anxiety. You want more energy. You want to reset your dopamine centers. Maybe you have erectile dysfunction now because of masturbation, right? Maybe you want to teach yourself more self-control. Or maybe this is just the stepping point on other self-improvement pieces you want to incorporate into your life. There are plenty of great reasons to do NoFap, and if you remind yourself why you're doing it, if you write it down and every morning you read it out loud to yourself, and every morning you put an X until you have your goal, and you need to celebrate when you hit your goals, right? I reached day 7 today, and I'm proud of myself. I really am. When you hit your milestones, when you hit your goals, you need to reward yourself. Maybe you purchase yourself a good meal. Maybe you just pat yourself on your back, or you look yourself in the mirror and say, I am proud of you. I know it sounds cheesy. I know I don't work for Peloton, I swear. Maybe you buy yourself that video game or that shirt that you want. But just know that you should be proud of yourself, and that I'm proud of you. Seriously, you can reach out to me. You can comment. I'll comment back, and I'll tell you that you can do it, because you can. Okay. The first step, not the number one step. The first step to a NoFap journey is identifying that you have a problem, and just starting. I'm sure there's tons of athletes that have made the same quote, that have said, what was it? Like, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. You need to take this shot. You need to go a month. That's all. That's the minimum, okay? But I'm serious. Once you understand the benefits, you're going to want to go longer than a month. And you need to remind yourself that. Because there are times when you're thinking in the short term, when you're stressed from a hard day at school and everything around you is going to, hitting the fan, and you just want a momentary pleasure. But you need to remind yourself, no, I'm doing this for me. This is for me, and I'm not going to do it, and it's good for me, and I know I can do it. So that's really all I have. Please leave comments. I'll respond.